What's going on, guys? So we have a very special guest today for our post-game interviews. Dad, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thanks, Ryan. I'm Rob Cox. I live here in Frisco, Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys at the Star here in Frisco, where they're headquartered. I'm running for city council in Frisco in place 5 and have been in Frisco for most of the last 23 years. And proud of my son Ryan and what he's doing at this, all the video stuff that he's doing and hot sports takes that he has.
Yeah, so Dad, I called them post-game interviews, but really it's a post-game reaction. I can't think too well after that Cowboys game. So go ahead and give me your immediate thoughts after watching that.
Well, I think this is just like 2020. You had a lot of low points and a few high points. And luckily, at the end of it, the Cowboys came out with an incredible win, just a game that showed a lot of guts and determination and perseverance, and very proud of the team and the way they just fought. And, I sound like Garrett in that conversation, that comment there. You just got to, through the process, you got to fight. And, I think the team really did that. My initial take is I think the coaching put them in some bad spots in this game, and some of the play calling early, certainly some of the special teams calls put them in some really bad spots and stopped momentum at times and made Atlanta go short field a lot, and they were able to score in the short field. I don't think they may have had one or two drives that were past the their own 40, but for the most part they had a short field when they did score.
Yeah, Dad. So I had to eat a lot of crow last week because we came out pretty flat game 1 and we took the loss. I said it was going to be a win. This week, after that first quarter, even after the first half, Cowboys fans on social media were going crazy. They were saying a lot of bad stuff about Dak, and they're the ones that get to eat the crow now because, Dak was part of the problem from the get-go, right? Everybody contributed to us not being good in that first quarter. Dak got the fumble. Zeke had 2 fumbles. Pollard almost had a fumble. Dalton Schultz had a fumble. But then the offense kind of started to step it up after that first quarter. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Absolutely, they did. The last time I remember the Cowboys having that bad of a start was I believe in the championship game against the 49ers, and they're down 21 points before you could even blink. And that was the year they did not go to the Super Bowl during their 3 out of 4 run. But a game like this, a start like this at home, it seemed like the field was slippery. People were slipping all over the place. The ball was slippery. Certainly to have, 4 or 5 fumbles in that first half was unbelievable. Zeke is not typically a fumbler of the football. He has a pretty good track record, but the Schultz fumble was a, helmet on helmet hit that did not get called, in my opinion, and he got stunned for a second. But certainly be down 19 points or, it was nice to come back and, just get some momentum at times and just get the offense going, spread the field and get our playmakers in space to make the plays.
Yeah. I think it reminded me a little bit of that game against the Buffalo Bills. I don't remember what year it was, but I think Romo threw like 5 picks, and yet he still found out a way to win the game. We had 4 fumbles in that first quarter. Still came out with a win. Dalton Schultz did have that 1 fumble, and you said it was helmet to helmet. I kind of tend to agree with that. At the same time, he had a pretty good game, which after a disappointing week 1, that was kind of nice to see. Even Blake Bell had a couple catches. So we did see that we might get a little bit more than we thought out of the tight end position.
Absolutely, but I think the key there is Dak didn't force the ball to other folks. He took in a lot of plays, he took what was given to him, and the offensive line struggled in that first quarter.
Yeah,
Let's just
no
be
doubt.
honest with you. Atlanta put pressure on Dak, and they were mixing it up. They were calling some specials and moving it around quite a bit, and that wreaked some havoc, especially on Steele. But dang, I think they stepped it up, and we were able to throw the ball downfield more in the second half because he had protection. And some of the reason he had protection, Zeke ran the ball really good today, and he didn't have huge yards, but he'd have a 1 or 2 yard run, and then all of a sudden he'd have a 7 or 8 yard run, and that allowed us to open it up and go downfield. And you got to give some credit to the offense coaches for getting this team moving after that first quarter.
Yeah, I think Kellen Moore coached a really good game. And there were definitely times when Ezekiel Elliott kind of got stuffed at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard or two, and he somehow got 10 yards out of it. I was like, whoa, he looked like a rolling ball. But
He looks a little different this year. I really
yeah,
think he's
no doubt.
a little quicker. Hitting the hole a little bit quicker and faster. It has, of course, strength to get through. The run that he had where he just bowled over the number 27 of the Falcons. I think it's Mazie. I mean that is a career definer right there. That kind of run on the goal line, and just to posterize that cornerback there was awesome. I might even put that one up in the office here if I can get a picture of that.
Yeah, I want to say it was like Ricardo Allen. It was either a defensive back or a safety. It was a heck of a hit by Zeke. Just gave him the shoulder. Wide receivers really stepped up their game. The big one to me, and Michael Gallup had that huge catch towards the end of the game when I already thought we were heading towards a loss anyway. But, man, CeeDee Lamb, we kept going to him, and he stepped it up. The rookies in general stepped it up. Trayvon Diggs is sticking with his man, and they're picking on him still, but he's going to be good.
You're going to have to make a great catch to beat Diggs. I mean, he played really good coverage, and there was a couple great pieces of coverage. I mean, let's not forget Julio Jones dropped a sure touchdown on the pass by Gage, which really helped us quite a bit. That kind of was a game changer. But if you can get Lamb in space and give him the ball the way he can run, oh my goodness, he was fantastic. A little rookie mistake on the little cutback block, but I thought it was pretty close to. He didn't really leverage himself into him. But he'll learn on that and just stand there and take more of a pick versus putting a good hit. But he came back the next play, made up for it, got the first down, and we were in Atlanta territory there with a minute 40 to go.
Yeah, and so now that I want to switch over a little bit to the story I was gonna tell. I was had assumed at some point that this was a loss. And the reason was I thought we got destroyed in the trenches. And then in the first quarter, definitely on the offensive line, but that did slowly get better out after that when Takk McKinley got hurt and we started to protect Dak and give him a little more time. But on the defensive side of the ball, I thought we got no pressure up the middle. And defensive ends like DeMarcus Lawrence said, it's concerning me right now. Now, I do know he's learning how to stand up and not be in that three-point stance. But, man, I'm expecting more. He's got that big contract, and he hasn't performed since.
Well, I think he gets doubled a lot, but the real issue is the defensive tackles are not getting any push in the middle. They're not getting any contain. And you saw Matt Ryan, who, bless his heart, he's a phenomenal quarterback, but he had 3 or 4 runs in that first half, all for first downs. And that's defensive tackles not getting a push up the middle and allowing the pocket to set up and get pushed outside. So it's hard to tell if Lawrence is not playing up to spec or he's just getting a lot of attention and the other guys aren't stepping up. But I will say this, late, the Atlanta offensive line won the battle in the first half against the defensive line of the Cowboys. Late in the fourth quarter, when they had to stop the run on a couple stops, they got it. And that was big. But for the most part, the defensive line has, and maybe it has to do with losing Van Der Esch, from a linebacker perspective, is just not being able to do the things that they want to do from a scheme. It just still comes down to personnel. But I think tackles are still a concern for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch some tape back. But, Tristan Hill I thought was actually really good against the run. But as far as on the pass goes, like I said, there was no pressure from the interior of the defensive line. Jalen Smith, to me, played a better game than he did week 1. But, man, he made some major mental errors. Like that touchdown to Hayden Hurst, he was 20 yards off of him. It was horrible. He didn't play the ball.
Yeah, certainly he's he got sucked in on another play that we didn't get to the corner and allowed running back to get outside. He cut up short and just got beat to the corner. Certainly those things are happening, but let's not forget that this is a new coaching staff, some new calls are going on, adjustments. I think they made good adjustments. And, certainly offensively they did. Defensively, it was I don't want to say it was bend don't break like we had in previous years, but we're not stopping the run when we need to for the most part, with the exception of the last 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to mention, Dad, that the special teams calls, would you credit the head coach for that, for going for it on 4th and 5 and doing the fake? Is that on John Fassel, or is that on Kellen Moore or Mike McCarthy?
Well, I think Fassel goes from GOAT to hero, because he had a couple bad special team calls. I didn't think the pass early in the game, was a bad call. I thought the second one was because of field position and where you're only down a score and a half.
Sure.
So I didn't like giving up the field position at that point. And they went down and scored. And so, McCarthy's given Fassel the ability to make that call. That's delegating to your team, to your coaches, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm sure they're looking at all the numbers and analytics to make those decisions, or have looked at them. But it took quite a few risks in that game. But let's talk about the hero part of that. They come down, that onside kick was a thing of beauty.
Greg the leg.
It was well coached, and what I mean by that, there was distance discipline in terms of the Cowboys knowing when that ball had to go past 10 yards, not making any penalties on a play like that, and just it was a thing of beauty. And then of course Zerline kicking the field goal at the end. He hasn't been extremely accurate so far, but it looks like he's getting honed in a little bit. Sure. And so you go from GOAT to hero in the same game. So the risk, while they didn't pay off during that time, what they do for you is puts everyone on notice for the rest of the season. So you may lose some of those battles early, and on your 4th and 5s and your 4th and 1s and so forth in the pass that you threw. But that helps you long term to keep your opponents off kilter, because they don't know what's going to happen. And one of the problems we had in the past was a little bit of predictability. Well, we don't have predictability, I'll give you that. So all in all, it was a great win for the Cowboys.
Yeah, Dad, if I'm naming the captains for next week today, I'm saying Greg the Leg Zerline, he gets one. Dak Prescott gets one, because I thought he was also the hero at the end of the game. Those last 2 drives by us, the touchdown and then leading us to an easy field goal. And then Ezekiel Elliott, I would definitely give the other. Now he struggled plenty in that first quarter, but again, he was the workhorse the rest of the game.
Yeah, he played hard, worked hard. The entire team was had a lot of mental discipline, and there weren't a lot of stupid penalties, and we're still getting used to each other as a team. But there was a lot of discipline in the group, and just fight and perseverance, and those are hard to teach, and you get people to buy in. And the Atlanta team was played tough today. They played pretty well, and they took the fight to us. And we took blows early, but we came back. They won some battles, but they didn't win the war. And that's what you have to do in football. You have to win the war. You have to have that discipline to perform in the fourth quarter. And this just helps Dak. Dak knows he can do it. He's done it. And last week we're playing the Rams. Rams 2 years ago won Super Bowl. So that was a pretty good litmus test, right? And we took them toe to toe in their home field. So I feel better after coming back and winning. Being 0-2 was going to be a difficult week here in Frisco. Yeah. And at the Star and for the Cowboys. But
yeah, I think that was actually a loss in the Super Bowl, but they won the real Super Bowl against us, and that put them in the Super Bowl. But
that's right.
Yeah, moving forward, we had the Seahawks week 3, and it's going to be tough, and I don't think we're going to make a lot of major changes, but I do see some signings on the offensive line. I think Ron Leary came in for a visit yesterday or today, and he lives right there in Frisco, I believe. And,
he certainly came in for a visit. That's been public information. Mm-hmm. They're going to do whatever they can to continue to shore up the offensive line. The issue is if you have any more injuries, right? Yeah. You don't know how long Tyron Smith's going to be out. Hopefully it's short.
That's what concerns me. I could see him missing 7 weeks.
Yeah, certainly that's a potential, right? Hopefully Collins can come back in a couple weeks. I think he's on the 3-week DL to kick off the season. Hopefully not the 6-week. And football is a game of attrition, and you have to continually fill in. And teams that can do that win championships. Teams that can't, they go 8-8.
Yeah, and I believe we're the only team in the NFC East to have a win so far today. I know Washington, if they lose, then we're on top, tied with them in the division. So the Giants lost Saquon Barkley, really unfortunate due to an ACL injury.
That was hard to see.
And I didn't see it, and I don't think I want to. And there's been a ton of injuries today.
Yeah, it's hard to see any of these athletes get hurt, especially injuries that are take a year plus to recover from. Mm-hmm. They work so hard. It's all their stars now. They spent 10, 15 years of their life getting to this point, and so you hate to see that. And certainly, we wish Barkley the best in terms of his recovery. But yeah, absolutely.
So I won't end on a somber note, Dad. We got a week to celebrate that win. Hopefully Washington loses here at 4. This video will probably get posted tomorrow. I really appreciate you coming on, Dad. I
just got one more thing. How many kids do you think in Dallas or Frisco are going to go out and practice that onside kick like that this week? I can guarantee you I will see kids at the Star in that football field in front of the Ford Center practicing that onside kick all week long.
And that's a trick shot in my book. And the video game FIFA for soccer, we'd call that a trick shot. That's pretty good. So the kids are going to love that.
Yeah. And you know how so many kids get out there with their Cowboy jerseys on at the Star, and it's awesome. So we look forward to seeing that this week. I may just make a special trip up there to watch that. I might even try it myself.
You remember last time we were at the Star, Dak was there. He was giving an interview.
Yeah.
With a local radio station, yeah.
That's a great thing about living in Frisco. It's, we have just great sports here. I think and you can interact with players in everyday parts of their lives, and that's just a wonderful thing.
No doubt. Well, Dad, thanks again for coming on.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we get another win next week against the Seahawks, and maybe we'll do this again.
Sounds good. I love it. You keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great, and proud of you and love you.
Absolutely. Love you too, Dad.
All right,
guys, we're out. All right. Peace.